Hello, paper beaters. It is so good to see you. I am Kelly from paperbeadrollers.com, and we are doing a live tutorial tonight. This is our Christmas tutorial, and it is only November if you're here live. Now, if you're watching the replay, you could be watching this at any time of the year, because with crafting, Christmas starts in July, especially if you sell your stuff. You are doing Christmas in July. But right now, in real time, it is November 11th, Veterans Day. So let's take a moment and say thank you to everyone who has served to keep us safe and keep our freedom. We appreciate all of you. All right, I think I need to get the sound a little closer, probably because this Christmas tree is in the way of my microphone. Is that any better with the sound? Let me know if that is better with the sound. Oh, maybe their sound was low. Okay. Hopefully that's good. If anyone else has any trouble with the sound, let me know. Hello, Debbie. Okay, good. Yeah, that microphone is actually scooted back a lot further than I normally scoot it. So, excellent. So we're going to just chat for just a second while people come on. It is 9 p.m. on Monday night on Veterans Day 2019. So if you're watching a replay of this, that is where we stand right now. And we're getting ready to do some Christmas tutorials. Now, I have never done an actual flat out live tutorial. Now, we've done live paper beading and things like that. But this will be the first time to do a full live tutorial. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this goes. So feel free to pop in with your questions. Now, there may be a few pieces that I'm not going to be able to quite do completely live because they will take too long. But what I'm going to do is I've already filmed every step, and I'm going to also do a recorded tutorial. So that will be out, but we'll do this live one first and have some fun with it. Candy, hey, you made it. So good to see you. All right. I see we've got a few other people on. Don't be afraid to pop in the chat and say hi, guys. I would love to see who is here. Again, thank you for anyone who's a veteran that is out there. Thank you so much. Today is Veterans Day, and we appreciate all that you sacrifice to keep us safe and free. Thank you so much. I have a lot of veterans in my family. I appreciate them every single day. So thank you so much. Another thing that I want to touch on before we get started with the actual paper beading tutorial is I have recently noticed one of my friends. Her name is Joanne. Hey, Linda, how are you? She is from Pin Savvy Co. and she lives here in Raleigh, so I actually know Joanne face to face. She recently took a mission trip to Rwanda. Hey, Larry. And while in Rwanda, she has met some wonderful, wonderful handcrafted business owners. A lot of, they focus specifically on women business owners there. I'm sure there are a lot of men business owners as well who are really making the best out of some very terrible situations, terrible surroundings. Hey, Dolly. Good to see you guys. And one in particular, her name is Jane. She has been taking her handcrafted business and really working at supporting her family. And she wants to go to the Christmas market in her nearby town and is struggling to get the cash together to pay the fees to get her stuff to the Christmas market. So Joanne started a GoFundMe, and I have put the link to the GoFundMe down in the description to this live. Today is the last day to donate. Joanne wanted to raise $250 for Jane to help her get to that Christmas market. And I think after my donation earlier today, they've raised $100. So if you feel so inclined, if you have an extra $5 or $10 to spare and you're feeling like you're in the Christmas spirit, click that link in the description and maybe give Jane in Rwanda a helping hand to get her business moving. over to that Christmas market. And if not, hit share. Maybe somebody else will have an extra $5 or $10. I believe that Joanne needs to send her the money by or starting tomorrow in order for her to make that market. Hey, Maureen. I saw Maureen a second ago over on Facebook. I hopped on live on Facebook to tell people to meet me over here, which is kind of funny, I guess. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I did today. I don't make a lot of finished jewelry to sell. I mainly make these bead rollers to sell, and I make the jewelry just for fun. But I do take any extra finished jewelry that I have and I sell it on the website, and I give away a big percentage of that to business owners that are in struggling economic areas usually through kiva.com. And also I donate to public schools through donorschoose.org. So teachers will post projects that they need help funding that the schools won't fund. And so I choose to donate through sales of my finished paper bead jewelry for that. So, so if there is any, sorry, I'm having some sound issues, it looks like. If there's any, I think I'm echoing because the Christmas tree is here. if you're looking for something to give away, some Christmas spirit, taking it over today, that is one thing that you can do. So let me know if you guys, are you guys okay with the sound? Hi, Larry. I'm not live every day, but I try to do at least one live a week, if not 2 lives a week. So yeah, I do try to come on live pretty often. All right, well, if you guys are ready, I think we should start. So this is, I try to do a Christmas tutorial every year, and this is the Christmas tutorial for today, for this year. And what we're going to do is we're going to take leftover wrapping paper, and we are going to make 3 different types of Christmas ornaments. So one of them is this guy right here, which is an icicle ornament. So that'll be one. The other one, hang on, I got some tech going on. Okay. The other one, if I can pull it off my Christmas tree here, is this guy right here. And this is a pillow ornament made out of a different wrapping paper, covered a little bit with some glitter. I don't know if you can see that too well. And then our third ornament that we're going to make is actually a garland for the tree. So a paper bead garland. And I'll show you the exact dimensions. You'll need to tie your ends better than mine. My bead just came off. And string a gorgeous paper bead garland. All right. All right, so let's get this Christmas tree out of the way and we'll start our tutorial. Maybe that will make the echo go away. Okay. So does anybody have their leftover wrapping paper ready to go? Did you guys have a chance to grab any leftover wrapping paper yet? Or are you just going to watch and then go grab it out of the closet? All right, I think we'll start with the icicle. How about that? So this is our icicle. And just like with all of my regular tutorials, let's start with what supplies you actually need with this one. So the first thing you're going to need, of course, is some leftover wrapping paper. And this is the paper that I made this icicle ornament out of. This one has grids on the back, which is a little bit helpful when you're cutting. I'll tell you what, this large paper is a little bit difficult to cut, but it's not too terrible. Can't do this with the scan and cut machine, unfortunately. It's a little bit too long. I also used a yardstick. And again, I can't fit the yardstick all the way on the screen, but I used the yardstick so that I could get nice, big, long strips. I used a pen to mark up and scissors. Need those. You will need your white school glue, of course, to glue this stuff down. You will need some glaze, and tonight I'm going to use triple thick. So any kind of glaze that you use will work. You can also dip these, I'm thinking, although brushing may be sufficient because you don't need a huge amount of glaze on these since they're going to be ornaments rather than worn. And then the other thing that you'll need for this is a bead cap. Now, I got these bead caps from Amazon, I believe. Or actually, these may have been from BB Craft. Actually, I think these came from BB Craft, now that I think about it. So if you go to bbcraft.com, and I can put a link in this after the tutorial is done. And these are fairly small. I actually don't know what millimeter they are. You can size your beads to fit whatever bead caps you have, though. And these are going to go on the top of the ornaments to sort of cap them off, right? And these are just going to be on the icicle ornaments, okay? So I've got all, this is a case that came with all different shades. So I've got some silver bead caps. I've got some bronze type bead caps. We're just going to use the golds because that's the color of paper that I'm using. And then you may also want to have some sort of string. I'm going to use this. This is actually left over from another project. This I used for my parents' 50th anniversary. I did a string board project for them. And so this is some really pretty string with gold woven through it. So that actually works pretty well for this ornament. And you can see when I originally did this, I actually used some like fishing line, and I didn't like the way that it looked when I was done. So I'm going to go ahead and use the gold string on this. Okay. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them into the chat as we go. And I'm getting all set up, and let's get started. So I'm not going to actually cut this in front of you because, again, it's hard to fit on camera. But I will tell you exactly how I did it. So I cut the roll of paper exactly 3 feet, which is this length of my yardstick. Okay, so I went ahead and cut a 3-foot piece off of my roll. And then I cut the wide end of my strip. I'm going to actually pull a strip up because it'll be a little easier to show you. I cut the wide end of my strip 3 inches right here. And then I cut it all the way down to a point. Now, how did I do that? Well, I used my yardstick, honestly. I put it up here on the desk, and I put a cutting mat underneath, and I used my rotary cutter. And I drew a line on it, and then I used the rotary cutter to just cut along the line and give me this beautiful, long, gorgeous strip of paper. So I absolutely love this because I normally end up working with shorter strips, right? Because most of the strips that I can buy here in the US are 8.5 by 11 or they're 12 by 12. It's not often that I get a material that is nice and long like this. So you could even do longer if you wanted. I mean, you know, you've got yards and yards of paper here, beautiful paper that you can work with. So this will work. Now, this is a fairly thick paper. I'm sure this would work, though, with any kind of paper. I chose one I had a lot of that was really pretty and shiny. But I think this will work with just about any kind of leftover wrapping paper that you've got. All right, if you have any questions about cutting, go ahead and put it in the chats. All right, now we're going to go ahead and roll. So to get this shape right here, what I want to make sure that it stays pretty thin here at this end. So I'm going to use the blue paper bead roller, which if I can find it, I have so many supplies laying around. Where did it go? And it is a 1/8 size. There it is. Oh, it's underneath my other ornaments. There we go. So the blue paper bead roller is 1/8. And this can be a little tricky, all right? we're going to start rolling from the wide end just like you normally do. Let me go ahead and get this out of our screen. But if you tried to put, there's a couple problems with this, right? If you tried to put the paper into the bead roller, there's a couple things. Number one, it's probably going to rip or come out because it's pretty flimsy. Number two, your pin is a lot shorter than this paper. And so that kind of feels awkward. Like, how do you make sure that you get a good shape? So let me show you the trick to that. I fold over the top of this about 1/4 of an inch. Doesn't have to be exact. You can choose, exactly how much you want to fold it. You could even fold it more than once if you wanted, but I've found that once works just fine. So we're going to fold over 1/4 of an inch, and that's actually going to solve both of those problems for us. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and slide in here, and I'm going to start rolling. I'm going to go ahead and put my finger on the side just to make sure this doesn't slip out, because I'm going to do a little finagling. Now you can see that this kind of looks like it might rip. So you want to make sure that you come over here and start shaping. Seeing it kind of slipped out on me because I was going too slow, because I'm trying to show you. If I were going a little faster, I probably wouldn't have that issue. What I want to do is go ahead and flip this over so that it rolls with the rest. And when you're doing that fast enough, what you'll find is that it stiffens up, and look at that. Now your shape looks perfect. And all we need to do is just roll this into the lovely icicle shape. So all of these 3 ornaments are really easy to do. You should be able to do them with your kids. I have found that kids around 8 or 9 tend to have the hand dexterity needed to roll paper beads. Kids younger than that, they can do it, but their beads don't always come out super nice. They love them though. So usually I just let them go, and I smile and let them glaze it, and I get the funkiest looking beads ever, but they are absolutely thrilled with them, and that is really what matters. But I've noticed that it's usually around age 8 or 9 that they have the dexterity to make beads that look like the beads that adults make. Now, there could be younger kids that, that have that dexterity. It all just depends. If you guys have kids or grandkids that do this with you, tell me what their ages are. I'm curious to see kind of how they do. So here at the end, as I got down to this last couple inches, I went ahead and evened this off so that I end up with more of a straight edge right here. It's not entirely necessary, but it is going to help when I put the bead cap on, because we're going to do a little bit of work on that end before we can get the bead cap to stick. So now I'm going to get my school glue. And we'll just tack down this end. If you get a little too much school glue, you can just kind of wipe it on. I've got a baby wipe here just to wipe off my fingers. There goes my bead cap. Gotta love lives, right? Hey guys, pop something in the comments for me. Just let me know that you're still with me. Say hello. And then we'll go ahead and put our bead caps on the top. And there is one more thing I forgot. Hey, there's Gina. Hey, Brenda. Thanks for coming over here, you guys. Okay. So now this is dried enough. Usually with the school glue, unless your paper's super stiff or super slick, it doesn't take very long. So now we can go ahead and pull this off of our bead roller. And sometimes with this one, I have to twist it just a little to get it off. You just want to make sure that you don't untwist your icicle. And I have a little bit of white sticking out right here where I folded over, so I'm going to trim that. Oop, just like that, just so I don't have any white come down. Oh, Candy, so she's going to be 7. Oh, she's going to be 7 in January, and she can make the smaller ones. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I would say Chase was probably almost, he could do it when he was 7 or 8, But they, like I said, they weren't always quite formed the right way. I mean, he loved them. He would invent, actually, he called them chase beads, and he would invent different bead shapes that were brand new. And we've got some pretty cool ones, actually. Twists and spirals and things like that that look really cool. Okay. So here's our bead cap. And I think, let me go ahead, now that we're done with some of the larger one. Let me see if I can bring us in closer without ruining our focus. Let's see. I think that'll work. Okay. Hey, Kathleen from Australia. Thanks for joining us. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this cap on. But before we do that, this cap is going to be permanently on there. So we need to go ahead and loop our string through. One way to do this, now there's a couple ways that you could do it, but here's how I decided to do it. I actually forgot this to tell you this, but I'm going to use some seed beads. So I just got one clear seed bead. Doesn't matter what size. I think these are 6/0s. Now let's see how good I am at getting this string through the seed bead live on camera. Oh, thank you, Gina. Okay, I probably should have grabbed glasses for this. Oh, look at that. Woohoo, even the string goes through. So this is a string with it's almost a gold tinsel wrapped around it. And what I wanted to do is just make sure I tie this around my seed bead, because this is what's going to hold the string through the bead cap. Actually, we don't even have to tie it. We can just do it this way. Trying to think how I might need to do this different, because like I said, with this one, I did use the plastic wire, which is a little different, but I think we'll do it the same way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and make sure I have plenty of room on this, because this is going to come up through the icicle. This will be the part that I hang around the branch. Or if you prefer to use hooks, you know, this will just be the part that comes up to be the hook, so you could make it smaller if you wanted. Or you could even use metal. So you could use a head pin like this. This one's silver, but you could even put a head pin through like this and then loop the end to make yourself a little hook on the top, if you would prefer to do it that way, and then use an ornament pin on it. So really, there's a lot of different ways to do this. It's totally up to you. You know what? Let's do that. Since I did the other way on this one, let's do that. I'll do it with let me see. Let me dig out a silver, or a gold pen. See, this is the beauty. This is why it takes me so long, right? To do here, I'm gonna put this under the camera. Hopefully this doesn't mess up your eyesight. This is why it takes me so long to do projects, because I can get ideas in the middle of them. All right, I'm gonna grab a gold head pin. There's my head pins. It's my little container for some of my findings. Oh, you're so sweet, Gina. Okay, and then we'll also need for that now, if you are better at jewelry making than I am, you don't need one of these one-step loopers, but I adore these one-step loopers. Even if you are good at jewelry making, you might just love to save yourself some hassle and time with this. Basically, what this will do is I'll stick my head pin through the loop, or through the hole in this, and then wherever I want my loop to be, I just stick this down. We'll probably put it maybe like right there. Actually, wait, I'm gonna get the bigger one. Look, here's my 3mm. There's my 1.5, which is what I use a lot on jewelry. I need my 3. Let's do that again. Don't you love lives? Everything I had planned just went out the window because I had an idea. Okay, we'll do right there. Woo! And there we go. And I can kind of pinch this up a little, or I can use I can close this a little more with some pliers, or I can leave it, so that I can hook it onto things. So there we go. So now our bead cap is ready to go. All right, I'll put that string over there. Get rid of this. And now we'll talk about how we can get this on here. So it's going to depend. So when I originally planned this, I knew exactly kind of how big this needed to be to fit on my bead cap. And what I did is, you can see that my top of this is actually a little bit larger, right? Because what I wanted is to create a rounded look. Say, notice the top of this icicle is rounded, right? I didn't want it to come up straight like this one. This one's perfectly straight. So I knew what I wanted is, I wanted the top of this to be slightly larger than I really needed for this cap, and then I'm going to bend it in to create this rounded off look, because real icicles are rounded off at the top. I grew up in the Midwest. We don't have icicles here in North Carolina. Oh, Candy, you love that looper? Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that looper is the best. I love it. I saw it from a YouTuber called Orchid and Opal. She does not do paper beads. She does other types of jewelry, but man, I love that thing. I'm not good at manual loops. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my fingernail and I'm just bending in the top. Now, see how I've got kind of 3 pointy pieces here? That's what you're going to need to do, because it's round, right? So you can't bend it all in evenly. So go ahead and bend it in like 3 spots, and then you'll bend your points in over top of that. It's not going to be perfectly flat, and that's okay. And you have to be careful. You can't see this, but mine, as I'm pushing on this, I'm actually shortening my icicle by accident. So luckily, we're doing this prior to, there we go. We're doing this prior to glazing, so that's going to happen. Now, we could go ahead, well, you don't want to glaze it before you bend this over, because that's not going to work. You got to do this part before you glaze. Okay. So once we feel like that is over enough, and you can kind of size and make sure that you're getting this sized right, because you've got to bend it in enough to make contact with your bead cap. You've got to have a place for the bead cap to be glued on. This one is still, I don't know, I might want to bend these up a little more so that I can make sure that I have contact. Yeah, there we go. I think this is probably, let me try it again. I think I moved them out too far. You just got to finagle it a little bit, honestly. You know how paper beads are. Everyone is just a little different. Each one that you do is probably going to come out slightly different. And you're going to need to work with it a little bit. Okay, I think this is better. I want this one little piece right here to go in some. Let's see if, oh yeah, there we go. This is going to, I think, give me some contact. All right, so we're going to try that. Oh man, did you see that? The bead cap just caught on the top edge and totally unrolled. Man, oh, that's okay though, because we're going to glue it back on. Man, that stuff happens. So I'm going to clip that and re-glue it. And we'll try it again. Lives, you gotta love lives. Okay, we're gonna give that a second to dry. And then we'll try this again. So usually when I'm putting on bead caps on, oh, see, I'm messing with it too much. I need to just hold it in place. When I'm putting bead caps on jewelry, I usually don't use the white glue. I will use something a little stickier. There is this Aleene's tacky glue right here. There is also the E6000. I will tend to use, well, it depends on what it is. I've done tutorials with both. It just depends on the bead and where they are on the jewelry. I'll probably use the tacky glue on this one because it's connecting to paper and things stick to paper a little better. Honestly, you could probably use Elmer's on this and it would be fine. But if you want these to last year after year, it might be good to go ahead and use the tacky glue. By the way, I found this at the Dollar Tree for $1. Gotta love it. cheap craft items, right? Okay. So I'm going to liberally, hopefully this is not clogged up on me. I'm going to very liberally, because this dries clear as well. And see how it's thicker? It's much thicker than the Elmer's or the school glue. Liberally wipe the glue on and press my cap in. And it dries clear, so I don't have to worry about it showing after the fact. Okay, there we go. So nice and gentle. I may go ahead and wipe down. I don't want the, well, I mean, honestly, and look, see, I kind of moved it in a little, so I'm going to make sure this stays out. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I may wipe off that glue a little bit. Oh, see, I messed with it too much. There we go. May neaten it up a little, although it's going to dry clear, so I don't think it's going to take too much away from the look. It may just look like ice, to be honest. But I kind of like it neat, so. Nan, right? I did this and I had this idea in my head, and sometimes the things in my head do not turn out the way that I think they're gonna. But this is an exception to that rule. So there we go. There's our icicle. You could even put a little seed bead at the bottom, I suppose, if you wanted to. Or tinsel or something like that. We could glitter this, but we will glaze it at the end. Well, I think we'll glaze everything at the same time. That way we don't get our stuff all over the place. But we're going to let this dry right now. I don't want to glaze it while the glue is wet for sure. But I do recommend putting the bead cap on prior to glazing this. Normally, I glaze before I put bead caps on. But because we need to manipulate and bend in the top end of this icicle, you almost have to put the cap on before you glaze. So there we go. There is number one, is our icicle. So I did try this with a couple of different papers, and I have to tell you, it looks best with a foil paper. It really does. But if you don't have a foil paper, I would recommend covering it with a little glitter. And I'm going to show you that on one of our other ornaments. I'm going to show you how I covered it with just a little dusting of glitter. So there we are. There is ornament number one. All right, let's go on to ornament number two. 1 and 2 probably take the most time, and then 3 is kind of quick and easy. So ornament number 2 is this guy right here. And I actually, this has been a request that a couple of you have given me to show you how to do this type of paper bead. So I am going to do a tutorial at some point in the future. I don't know what order it's going to be in, but I am going to do a tutorial on pillow beads down the road. But in the meantime, we're going to use the pillow bead technique to make this cute little box. You're going to go buy a bunch of paper. You know what? Walmart had, and I don't know if they still do because it's been a couple weeks, but Walmart had, when they first put out their stuff, had a bunch of beautiful rolls for 99 cents. And in fact, I think this might be one of the ones I got for 99 cents at Walmart. Look, it's got kitty cats, and I know Gina from Belly Beads loves kitty cats because her and I both have an orange cat. So this is a 99-cent Walmart paper right here. All right, so for this ornament number 2, we're going to use the same size of strip. Actually, all of these ornaments use the same size of strip because I wanted to make it easy. This is supposed to be an easy craft because the holidays are busy and there's so much going on. So let me tell you the trick to this right away. Is to make sure that whichever strips you use, the widest ends are exactly the same. I attempted this with 2 strips and it was all wonky, and it turns out that I picked 2 strips where I had gotten one strip that was slightly wider than the other, and I was wondering why my pillow ornament turned out so crazy, and that was why. And like, I have a little piece right here. I'm going to cut that off so keep everything even. Whoop, there we go. Okay. So we need 2 pieces for this. Now you actually could probably use more than 2 and make a bigger, thicker pillow ornament, but we're just going to use 2 for this demonstration. We'll keep it simple. Let's see how I do. This makes me nervous, you guys. This one is tough. Okay, so if you've ever done pillow beads before, you kind of know the drill here. Let me try to keep this centered on the camera so you can see what I'm doing. The trick to pillow beads is this. So you've got the same strip that we used for the last one, but just made out of different paper. It's 3 inches here at the top. It's 3 feet long, and it comes down to a point, okay? So use your yardstick to cut these out. Because these are slanted, you can't line this up corner to corner. If you try to line this up so that the edges are even, your pillow bead will be wonky and slanted, okay? So whenever you line this up, oh wait, hold on, I have a question. Could you use the cone-shaped triangles to make the icicles? Yes, yeah, the cone shape that I did in my tutorial where the top part is like straight. I think that's what you might mean, Nan. Yeah, you probably could do that. Yes, I think that might actually make it even easier. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you've lined this up not quite on the edge. So this is actually slanted. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. It's easier to see once you get started. You don't want to stick too far out. You want to go up towards the edge, but you don't want this to be lined up straight. So you should be sticking out just a little bit up here at the top. See how, oops, I just moved it. See how this is a little bit out up here? And this side is actually, it'll be a little bit out there. So if you can line it up just like that. So this corner's sticking out here, this corner's sticking out here. That should get you about right. And then we're going to take the underneath one. You always go over with the underneath. Now again, here is the trick. You want to keep your fold straight. So you can't bring it up even with this side and this side. You have to keep your fold straight. That's difficult to do. So right there. So see how there is a little gap there? Don't let that drive you crazy because that is correct. Okay? Then you bring over the next part. And same thing on this side. Don't try to bring it right up against the paper. Make sure that you are straight across. And here you can kind of line up with the one underneath. The other thing is, when you come over here, you want to be centered. So I can see the corner of my underneath right here. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera. Let me move over a little bit and center up. I can see the corner over here and I see the corner here. So I want this piece to be centered. So if you just think about being centered in your piece, that's going to keep you on track. If you don't go centered, you're going to have a very wonky square. Okay, which I may end up with anyway. We'll find out. All right, now this time we're going to take the one that's under and that goes over first. So wrap it around. So it's the last one we touched. And again, we want to try to center it in the middle of our piece and fold it. Center in the middle of our piece and fold it. I feel like this is not going to come out the way I want it to, but that's okay. Turn it over. Keep going with that one that's most on the bottom. Keeping it centered in the square. So as the further you go along, the easier it is to see that you're centered. Okay, fold it over, and then we're going to flip. And again, we take the piece that was on the bottom, most on the bottom, and we flip it. There we go, and over. I love those little cats. They're so cute. Okay, we flip. Over here, centered. Yeah, see, this gets really easy. Once you get past those first couple, it kind of starts forming on itself, and then it's super easy to do. Flip. Whoop, that one wasn't centered. There we go. Okay, and you want to go ahead and keep your edges sharp. Even though you're going to puff this up when we're done, you can go ahead and keep your edges nice and sharp. Keep your folds crisp. See, this is much more boring when I can't fast forward. We should put on some music, some speed music. Da, 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 da. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, I feel much better about it now. See, it when you first do it, it kind of just feels like it's gonna fall apart on you. It feels very wonky. When you do this with cardstock and you're doing it as a bead, it doesn't feel that way. But when you do it with the wrapping paper, it just feels very, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. It feels very off. So I'm gonna slide this, make sure I'm in the center. I want to end up with everything in the center before I glue. Okay. Now I'm gonna glue just like we do a normal paper bead. So each end goes down. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Hey, Dina, what's up? Dina's here. Okay, so this is good. I'm going to let this dry for just a second. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off some of the excess glue, although that probably won't matter. We're going to glaze this and we're going to glitter it. So any little imperfections are not really going to be seen, which is beautiful. But we definitely need to let this glue dry before we try to puff out our pillow, because the glue will let go if the glue's not dry. So I'm thinking, let's take a little break with this. I'm going to put this to the side and let it dry, and we're going to work on ornament 3 and then come back to ornament 2 if you guys are okay with that. Okay? That way, because I was hoping to try to keep this to an hour, and we will not get an hour if we just sit here and watch glue dry. So, and besides, that's no fun. Who wants to watch glue dry? Okay, so ornament 3 is actually not related ornaments, but it is our I just lost the name. Our garland, our bead garland. And I've been thinking about, for years, I've been thinking about making a paper bead garland for my tree. And I generally use a lot of red and green glittery stuff and gold. So I thought this is perfect. And I had this paper, or at least I had the gold paper, and I think I might have bought the red at that Walmart 99-cent thing. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the red longer beads. I'll show you those first, and then we'll do the golds. Okay? All right. So, for the red beads, this is the actual paper that I used. Just says Merry Christmas on it. And again, it is exactly the same strip that I showed you how to cut earlier. It is 3 inches here at the width, all the way down to a point, and it is 3 feet long. So use your yardstick, cut this out, and then I'm going to use, I think I want to say the purple bead roller sounds like a good one, because I want to get a little bit of a larger bead out of this. So I'm going to use the purple bead roller, but I'm going to use the same little trick that I did when I was doing the icicle. I'm going to go ahead and fold over my edge a little bit just to make it a little more sturdy. And then we're going to roll this, and we're just going to roll this like a normal happy paper bead, right? I mean, if Bob could have happy little trees and clouds, we can have happy paper beads. Same thing, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to fold over my edge. Because we've made this stiffer with our first fold, this guy should behave himself, and he should come right with us. Oh, see, it's harder when you go slower. It's easier when you're moving at a normal pace and you're going faster. But when I'm going slower to show you, it kind of slips on me. Uh-oh. I'm going to fold it one more time because now I've worn it out. Let's try this. I'm going to do it faster and we'll see if I'm lying. Ah, I'm lying. There it goes. Now it's behaving. Okay. No, don't kink. There we go. Now he's behaving. Thank you. Okay, so this is just your normal paper bead, and we're going to center. And one thing I found in working with wrapping paper is it is slippery as all get out, you guys. So even when you're rolling a regular paper bead, it tends to slip and slide a lot, which can be good or bad, just depending. But don't lose your grip on it because it will go. It is a slippery sucker. So with this one, I just used one, and I actually think maybe I must have used two. Now that I'm thinking about it, I bet I used 2 layers on the original garland that I showed you, because that garland is definitely thicker than this. So I'm betting I used 2. So maybe I'll redo this. Sometimes it pays to write down what you did in your project and refer to it. Hey, Donna. What's up, Donna Poole? I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. All right. So there is a gorgeous paper bead. And yes, you can tell. Here's the one I just did. And here is the one from my prior. So you can layer these, which is actually what we're going to do next for the gold. So this is going to be our red longer ones. The millimeter size of the purple is 4 millimeter. And I forget the inch size. I can never remember those, but I'm working on a way to put them on the ends, you guys. So we should have that coming up soon, because that has always bugged me. Now, here's the trick, all right? So I want to do these golds, and you can see, here's the beads from the original garland. You can see that the gold ones are half the length and twice the thickness of the reds. So how did I do that? So I did this, and it was super easy. Look, there's a really easy way to do this. So even though, again, this one came out thinner because I think I used two layers on that one, and I only used 1 layer on this one. But here's what we're going to do. Oh, thank you, Donna. What I'm going to do to make this easy, and I got to be honest with you guys, I didn't plan this. I had already cut all of my strips and then decided that I wanted to do a fat bead, and I didn't want to sit down and cut a bunch more strips. So I decided I was going to do it this way. I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm just going to cut it in half, and that's what I'm going to use to make my fatter beads. And it worked. It worked beautifully, in fact. And it gave me a nice chunky bead. Because, I mean, hey, I'm nothing if not efficient, right? You could call it lazy, but that wouldn't be nice. Right? Right? I call it efficient. Uh-oh. I lost you guys. Okay, looks like I may have lost you guys just for a second. Looks like we're back now, though. Let me know if you are back. I got a message that said we were off, but I think we're back. Give me a second. You know what? I think I'm going to... Yeah, no. I think we're good. Okay, good. Yeah. We were off for about just a couple seconds, it looks like. Okay, so all I did was I went ahead and I folded this whole strip in half from top to bottom. And I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it. And then I'm going to use that to roll. Yeah, it was me, guys. I froze somehow. My internet blipped or something. So I'm just going to cut on my fold the neatest that I can while I'm doing this quickly. Which is probably not very neat at all. And by chance, I just happened to be almost on the line. Oh no, there we go. Now I'm off the line, of course. For a while there, I was on my dotted line on my wrapping paper. Oh, down into the tiny piece. All right, we're almost to the end. Can I do it? Can she do it? No, she can't. All right, we're just going to cut that off. Okay. So now we have 2 smaller triangles. Look at that. And they're pretty this worked because the angle's not too steep. If I had done this with a shorter one, that wouldn't have turned out nearly so well. All right, so I'm going to go back, still going to use the purple 4mm bead roller. And I may not need to fold this over because I've got 2 sheets. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, we're good. Now this is going to make a little bit of a chunkier, and it may give me a little problem because the angle is still slightly different, because remember I cut down the middle, so one side is angled slightly more than the other, but it's such a slight difference. We should be able to make this work without too much of a problem, she says before it starts messing with her. Let's try this again. Okay. I got it under control. And really, for me, this is just a matter of making sure I'm rolling in the middle, and it's not going to be as smooth if you do it this way. You're going to have, see how that right side's a little chunky? It's like that on my other beads too, on the garland. But we're going to kind of finagle things around a little bit when we're done and make these look. But it gives them an interesting punched out part in the middle that I like. If you don't want yours to look like this, you can just cut your strips from the beginning. Just cut your strips at 1.5 inches and don't do this half lazy thing that I did. There we go. It's getting a little off. Got a little jaggy on my cuts down here, but I think it'll look fine once we get done. Especially with this reflective paper, it's very forgiving. You can always cover it with glitter. That's the great thing about Christmas ornaments. Throw a little glitter on there. Looks beautiful. Nobody notices a thing. Oh, gotta love it. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, great. There we go. And then you've got your 2 beads that you can string along and make your garland. So super easy, you guys. Super simple. The hardest part about this is cutting the strips. Because you need to have a surface big enough, so you got to clear off the table or get on the floor. If you have a hardwood, I did this on the hardwood floor originally. Makes it a lot easier. And then you can cut your garland or string your garland. And I strung this on the same string I showed you earlier, which is this stuff. This is just like kind of a twine, just a string with that gold tinsel wound in it. And I just got this, I don't know, I might have even gotten it at Walmart or a craft store somewhere. Just pretty basic stuff. And it was left over in my craft stash from another project. So I just used it for this. So I'm going to continue this and make this actual real garland for my tree. Actually make all these for my tree this year. Okay. So that was number 2. We're not quite at our hour, so that's good. And I can go over. I just didn't want to make you guys sit. So let's finish up our puff one, and we'll at least glaze that one. Because the rest of them are normal glazing. So I would just, I just put 1 coat of glaze on all of these just to keep them together, keep them hard for when they're stored over the summer months, in my little containers and stuff. Keep them looking nice. Went ahead and glazed them. Same with this. I would just really glaze it up and down and just try to keep the glaze off of the metal pieces. Is all you need to do there. And like I said, you could put something down here, put a gold ball would look really nice down there. You could even just glue it on, and that would look great. Now, the ornament number 2, though, there's a little more to it with the glazing, because the glazing is how we're going to put the glitter on. So I'm going to grab ornament number 2, and we'll finish this up, And then you'll have some new projects to do this weekend. And you'll have a couple days to go out and either dig out your leftover wrapping paper from the storage area, or there we go, or grab it from the store. Okay, so I am going to need some sheets of paper. Let me grab some notebook paper. So for this one, then you're going to need a couple things. I'm going to grab some notebook paper because we're going to use glitter. And if you don't put something down to catch the glitter, you are seriously going to regret it. Glitter gets everywhere, you guys, everywhere. I hear you, Donna. My craft room was a mess. It was getting terrible, and I just managed to get it all cleaned up and organized. Ugh, awful. So we are going to use a glitter here that I had in my stash already. I did not go buy anything new for this. This is from Nuvo. It's called Mirror Ball. And one of the reasons why it works really well for this project is because it is very, very fine. I don't know how well you can tell. It gets a little blurry that close, but this is a glitter that is super, super fine. Now, you can use a thicker glitter. It totally depends on what your style is, what your Christmas style is. But for this, let me grab the original one. I wanted to let the original paper shine through a little bit so that you could kind of see, like there's the word snow. So I wanted, and then there's kind of, you can tell it's a snowman. I was hoping the cat would show through, but I don't think I got the cat on here at all. But I didn't want to completely cover what was under here. So it really depends on what paper you're using and kind of how you're wanting to do it. I just wanted a very light dusting of fine glitter on mine, okay? Another thing is we're using glaze to stick the glitter on. So if you get a very thick, chunky glitter, it's not going to stick as well with the glaze. You may have to do a glue bath or something like that and use a different method. But I haven't tried that, so I can't guarantee it. But I'm thinking that the fine glitter is going to work better with your glaze. So what I'm going to do is grab my tools here. We've got our triple thick, and here is my brush. Okay, I think we have everything we need for this part. Oh, I do want a skewer because the way I'm gonna do the hole. Okay, so this is the fun part. So right now this is super thin, right? Let me make sure you guys can see this. So this is super thin. I mean, we creased it really good, and you want to do that so that you get nice sharp edges. But now we're going to completely ruin those creases. Now, you could actually use it like this if you wanted. I mean, you could just, put a hole in here and have a nice thin one. But the beauty of the pillow bead is that if you just push it in, and you can just push one side, look at that. You can push both sides. So now you've kind of got it almost looks like a gift card box, right? I kept thinking, oh, there's got to be a gift card in there. You could push in both sides and have all four sides kind of flat. Make it a little bit more of a box and have sharper edges. You could do it any way you want, like that. Whatever shape you like. Okay? Once you get the shape that you like, choose a side where you're going to hang it. And what I did to make sure that I didn't glue this down is I went ahead and put my skewer in here so that I could run my string through here. Now we could, taking off of the whole, what we did with the icicle and the wire, I could go ahead and get a length of wire and just run it through here right now and not worry about this. But this is also helpful while you're glazing, so I think I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 coats of glaze on this. We're going to do the first coat of glaze all over, and then before it dries, we're going to sprinkle our glitter on. We're going to keep it really light if I can. Being that this is live, I'll probably dump half a bottle on it, but hey, whatever. I'll just, we'll just go from there. So let me go ahead and put our triple thick. and we're going to glaze. Part of what I do when I glaze this, there are so many layers and they kind of puff up. So I make sure that I kind of push it down, and I'll even try to get some glaze up under the layers to glue them down or make them stiff. Because again, when I'm putting this away for the year and I'm putting this in with other ornaments, you know, I do not have, you know, every ornament does not have its own little safe space. They get, let's just say that there's always casualties. So I want to try to make sure that these will survive the ordeal of storage. There we go. I mean, I have those ones that are really nice that I, you know, the ones from like the years we got married, they have their own boxes still and that kind of thing. But most of the ornaments, they just sort of, you know, I have my little ornament box and I put 2 or 3 in one little section that's only meant for one ornament, that kind of thing. Because I just have too many ornaments and I don't want a million ornament boxes. Sorry. Not happening. So we'll just go ahead and brush this on. And we want to go kind of quick because, as you know, the glaze dries very quickly if you're a brush-on person. The brush-on glaze does dry fairly quickly. And we want to make sure we get our glitter on before it dries. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a second coat, and I don't know that we'll have time to do that here on the live, but I'm going to put a second coat on after I put the glitter on and it dries because it sheds quite a bit. So we're going to see how I put some up under there. I'm going to try to get that to stick down. It may not. That's all going to help hold the pillow together too so it doesn't get crushed in my ornament box. Another thing I thought that I could do with this, so we just got Chase's school pictures back. I thought this would be a great way to showcase school pictures. You could, you know, cut out the picture and put it on one side of the pillow box ornament and give as gifts to the grandparents, or, you know, have on your own tree. So, or pets as well. Make pet ornaments that way. That would be a very cute way. And also it would last longer. You could glaze right over the photo. I have some ones of Chase that he did in like nursery school and stuff, and they're on paper, and so they don't last. You know, they get beat up really fast. But this would be a way to last. I can already feel this getting sticky on me. Hopefully I got all of my spots, but we're going to go ahead and break out the glitter and see what we get. Yeah, Maureen, pillow beads are cool. And I'm going to try with this. This lid is on, but it's going to let some of the glitter out. So I'm just going to do this. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, that's perfect. It gives me a nice, easy coat. I once worked for a girl. I don't even know, this is probably 30 years ago. 20 years ago? Okay, 20 years ago. She did fairy dolls. That was what she did. And she got so big she couldn't handle all the orders. So she put an ad in the paper, and she hired a bunch of us to come and work with her and help her make her fairy dolls. And I remember I was so heavy-handed with glitter at the time. She kept having to smack my hands and be like, listen, you just touch it. You just kiss it. Kiss it with the glitter. And so now I always remember that. Just kiss it with the glitter. We don't want to pour glitter on it. We just kiss it with the glitter. I thought that was cute. She made the most beautiful dolls. I'll have to look her up and see if she's still doing them. She was wholesaling them even at gift shops and stuff. Her dolls were gorgeous. All right. Let's see. I think we got it pretty good. Now, I think I may have missed over here a couple spots with the glaze. So what I'll probably do, because I don't want to get glaze or glitter all over my brush. Well, I'll probably get glitter all over my brush anyway. I don't want to move the glitter around that's on there and create lines with my brush. And I'm afraid if I try to fill those in right now, that's what will happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. And then once this is dry, and we can hang out for a little bit, I guess, if you guys are game, and we'll see how fast it dries. If it dries enough for me to go ahead and do the second coat. I would wait for this to completely dry. Then I'd come back and kind of spot check. And if there's any place where I need to add the glaze and put more glitter on, I would do that and let it dry. And then once it's completely 100% dry, so I may, for the second coat, all over coat, I may even leave this overnight. We definitely won't do it together on the live tonight, because I want to make sure it's completely 100% adhered. Then I will go over and do a second all over coat with the glaze to make sure that this glitter stays in place and doesn't come off all over my box. Because if you know, I mean, you've got ornaments that glitter is just everywhere. And in fact, as I'm saying this out loud to you guys, I feel like I want to go this year, and as I pull my ornaments out, I think I want to just glaze them all, because I have ornaments, like I have these really big, okay, I'm going off on a tangent. I have these really big candy cane things, and the glitter is just everywhere. The glitter goes everywhere. Maybe I should like take my triple thick or my diamond glaze and just glaze them to keep the glitter in place, because there's glitter everywhere. Crazy. Okay. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. All right, so let me see. I think, where is my block? My block is probably downstairs. We'll put it here. I'm going to improvise. I taught a bead class this weekend, and I think I left my block down in my stuff, so I'm going to use this. I am nothing if not creative, right? That's going to be my new drawing block. My string. All right, and we'll very carefully, because this glitter will get everywhere. And you guys, I have carpet in my craft room. Can you believe it? I totally need to rip this out someday and put in hardwoods. But, so if I get glitter in here, it is never coming out until the carpet leaves. That's why I have the glitter in a bag, because this fine stuff will get everywhere. If you guys want to hang out a little more, I'm going to go ahead and I'll glaze the icicle while we wait for that to dry. And if you need to go, I think the meat of what I was covering tonight is probably done. You have seen how to create all three of the ornaments for our Christmas tutorial. And I will, like I said, I have filmed the step-by-step, so I will probably still put that together for you. Let's kind of wipe this glitter. Oh, look, I did pretty good. There's not a ton on here. But if you want to hang out with me a little more, we can go ahead and glaze this and see if we can fill in those glitter spots, those empty spots that I missed. You can see how I do that. If you do have to go, this will be a replay that is up, and so you can watch it. Don't forget to join us over in the Paper Bead Fanatics group. If you are not in Paper Bead Fanatics, we are on Facebook, and it is a free group that you can come join and hang out with us every day and share photos of what you're working on and ask questions and all that good stuff. I love to see what you guys are doing, because everybody has their own style of paper beads, you know? Like Gina calls me the cardstock queen, right, Gina? Because I use cardstock a lot, but some other people use different materials all the time. There's, magazines, and there's cardboard, and and different materials too for the jewelry making. So I just love seeing the different things you guys do. When it's different from mine, or even when you use my ideas, I want to see what you do with them. Oh, by the way, guys, here's something exciting. Well, only a true paper beater is going to get excited by what I'm about to show you. So I got down to the end of the red wrapping paper, which I am pretty sure was the 99-cent Walmart wrapping paper. Here, I gotta put this icicle down for a second to show you this, because you're gonna be excited too, I think. And instead of being greased with a roll, look, how many awesome, thick, chunky beads do you think I can make with this? I mean, seriously, this is a really thick cardboard paper that they used instead of a hard cardboard core to that red wrapping paper. And there is a bunch of it in here. Okay, this is like total bonus. to the wrapping paper. So like I said, I'm pretty sure that that's one of the rolls I got for 99 cents at Walmart just like 2 weeks ago. So you may want to check that out because that paper is like precious. We get excited about the little things. It's funny, when I taught the bead class on Saturday, everybody there was a new paper beader, and they did an amazing job, by the way. They were in it. They wanted all the advanced stuff. Like, we did pendant beads, we did a bow tie bead. Like, they were not shrinking away from any challenge. I was so proud of them. But yeah, when I was talking about like doing the food boxes and the fridge packs are great because they're much longer. They're like, I can't believe that you can just use anything. Like, that's why I love this craft, because you could literally can use anything. I will be busy for a long time with that one, Donna. All right, so I'm going to try to get, let me get closer up here. So I'm going to try to get up here, and I'm going to get, I probably should have wiped off more glue on that side. See how this side, the glue did get a little bit too goopy? And my cap, it looks a little crooked because the glue is covering it too much. So I would be careful. I would go ahead and wipe the glue off the cap then, if I were you. Because that one just doesn't look good that way. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. That's really all you need to do. I only did one coat on this guy, and he's pretty stiff. There's a little give in there, so I don't know. 2 coats would make sure they last longer. But this, he's not going to bend. You know, when this was, actually, let me show you one that I did not glaze, and look what happened to him. Look at his end. Yeah, this happened before I got him glazed. He just, you know, boom, you can bend it like that. So the glaze is crucial. You've got to glaze them. This guy, he's not going anywhere. I can't bend him. I'm trying, and I can't bend him. Also, I want to show you this. This guy, this was another sort of, I guess, reject I was working on when I was deciding what I was going to do for the tutorial. I also did a small icicle. And the reason I just didn't include this in the tutorial is because it's really the exact same process as the big icicle. But you just don't stretch it out as far. You just wrap it tighter. And you can get the little teeny tiny one. So this one would look just as pretty. Especially if you have a smaller tree like the tabletop tree that I had up here right at the beginning. I think that one would look great. And all I did here to get the rounded end is I just came, as I rolled it towards the top, I just kind of came back down a little bit before I was done. So, all right, Robin. Yeah, you can totally do tree garland. So make sure you guys post what you do over in Paper Bead Fanatics. I would love to see it. And if you have any other ideas to take off of mine, that would be awesome. Let's see if we can, oh yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I'm going to try to fill this in a little bit where I lost my spots. So right there is a spot with no glitter. Oh wait, I better put my paper down, because if I try to do this before I get the paper down, I'm going to really regret it. Got to catch that glitter. Okay, here we go. So here's the trick to this. You want to be really careful, because if you put, see, it's shedding glitter already. If you put the glaze over top of glitter that's already there, you're going to get a double layer of glitter, and you'll get a ridge, and you can kind of see it. So you want to be super careful as you're putting the glaze on, and just get it. We'll see how I do. Just in the spot where you want the, and I missed some right there. And up here. Let's see if there's anywhere else. That all looks pretty good. I think that was all I saw earlier. There could be a little more right here. And here. Okay, let's just cover the whole thing. No, just kidding. All right, I should have got this back out of the bag. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in the frame. Sorry. I was looking too close. So all I did was kind of come in and just try to catch it right on the edge where there was no glitter, like that. So here, actually I missed a spot right there. So you want to be careful not, oh, I just got it a little too gloopy. This triple thick will do that to you. Oh, still not in the frame. Oh. So we're just trying to get it around, not over the edge where the glitter is. There we go. Okay, and then again, I'm going to just really light kiss it with the glitter. It's going to be like one of our new sayings, right? Kiss it with the glitter. Just kiss it with the glitter. Where's my side that there it is. And I did get a few spots all over, so I'm going to re-hit it in a bunch of different spots. This part I missed because of the stick. The stick is getting in my way. Here. We're going to put it down the stick. There we go. That's why I missed it the first time, I think. Ooh. It's like putting salt on. Okay. I think I hit all the spots that were missing. Woo. Okay. You can always tap it off a little bit if you need to. I know, right? You're right, Robin. I do need to put an X on the paper. Except I keep moving it around. That would be helpful. Okay. All right, so we'll let this dry again. And then, like I said, I may even want it to dry overnight because I want to make sure the glitter is 100% adhered. If the glitter is not 100% adhered before I put the second coat on, the glitter will come off on my brush. So even though the glaze seems to be dry, you really want to make sure it's hard and completely dry before you add the second coat to this. Once you do that, you can then take out your stick and you'll have a nice raised spot. It's actually already nice and raised, but you'll have this nice raised spot where you can, put in your wire or your ribbon or whatever it is you want to use to hang this. And then it will look like this one. See, I feel like I do have just a little more glitter on the new one than I did on the old one, but that's okay. Oh, Robin, you've been binge watching. Yay! That's awesome. I'm glad you found me too. Yeah, I've had a little bit of a break in filming. I got sick. I have a pinched nerve in my neck that caused me to have a 47-day migraine. It was rough, and luckily the headache is gone, but I am still catching up and moving really slow. So I was moving half speed. I'm probably 3/4 speed now. So we're getting there, you guys. We're getting there. Pretty soon I'll be back to my weekly Sunday night tutorials. That's the plan. I totally miss it. I miss doing lives every week. I miss hanging out with you guys. So I'm hoping that I am going to be back to that in the next week or so. That is my wish for me. All right, I'm going to flip up to my face cam, wherever it is. Hey, there we are. Yay. All right. Yeah, Donna, it was not fun. It was a rough couple of months, but luckily, when you have a headache like that, like a bad migraine like that, you kind of wonder, like, what is it? Is it something like fatal? And thank goodness it's not. Thank goodness it was, nothing that is life-threatening for me. It's something that I may have to work around a little bit as we get it, cleaned up, but definitely something that can be fixed and is livable and I can move on. So I was pretty relieved about that. So thanks for being there for me, you guys, though. Your support and your love that you send me, it means the world to me. And even though I can't You know, even though I'm not there every Sunday or haven't been for the last few weeks, the fact that you've kind of stuck by me and you hop on these lives with me, it means so much to me. Brenda, yeah, you need to Facebook me. Tell me when you're going to be here. I would love to have, maybe we can have like a paper bead meetup over at Craft Habit. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be fun because we've got some other folks here in Raleigh who do paper beads. We should definitely arrange some sort of a paper bead meetup. I think we should do it. So send me a note through either at contact@paperbeadrollers.com or through the Facebook page with the dates you're going to be in town, and we'll set something up. Oh, that would be so much fun. Cool, cool, cool. Donna, I went to about 3 different doctors and had all kinds of MRIs and fun stuff like that before they figured it out. So, and I'm getting lots of therapies and things like that. And the chiropractor has been a huge help. So, yeah. So, it's all good. We're getting better, and every day is better. So, that's good. You guys are the best. All right, well, Merry Early Craft Christmas. Oh, did I show you my shirt? I showed them over on Facebook. My shirt, I got it today at Kohl's, by the way, if you need one. It says, always be merry and bright. And I have my Christmas leggings. Woohoo! Yay! So I'm all ready, all decked out for Christmas. Super excited. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. But you wouldn't know that by going to the stores. So. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for celebrating the season. Again, remember, this is the last day for donating to Jane in Rwanda if you want to help her get to Christmas market. If you have a spare $5 or $10, or you can just share it, that would be great. I think Joanne's gonna try to send her the money tomorrow. We'll see if we can't get her to Christmas market and help her support her family. And other than that, I think we're good to go. Join us in Paper Bead Fanatics on Facebook, and I will see you over there. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your support. Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Robin. And Brenda, I will hear from you soon. And everyone else, have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.